Hello, I'm going to show you how to make some little Easter nest cakes using rhymes to remember. And of course, before we start, we're going to clean our hands. You remember, hot, hot, hot soapy water, or they won't be as clean as they ought to. So you've got nice clean hands ready to start. The rhyme to remember today is 100, 100, 100, 2 makes 12 small cakes for me and you. 100 grams self-raising flour, 100 grams caster sugar, 100 grams soft butter or margarine and 2 eggs. Basically, it's the same weight of every ingredient because 2 eggs also weighs 100 grams. If you want to make more, you could go 200, 200, 204 is going to make you 24. 300, 300, 306 is going to make you 36. 400, 400, 408 is going to make you 48. Now, the 12 little cakes refers to the little fairy cake cases, will make you 12. If you use the muffin cake cases, obviously because they're bigger, you'll only make about 8 at a time because they're deeper. So, here we go. In my bowl, I'm going to use the all-in-one method. And basically, in the bowl, sugar, flour, margarine, eggs. 100, 100, 102. Now, if you want to make chocolate cakes, all you do is you take out a tablespoon of flour and you replace it with a tablespoon of cocoa. And that will make you chocolate flavoured cakes. But it's still basically 100 grams of flour. If you don't want to do chocolate cakes, you could add some food colouring, like pink colouring. Be very careful, a tiny bit goes a long way. You could add flavouring. Here I've got lemon flavouring, again strawberry flavouring, vanilla extract, and you just need a tiny bit. So 100, 100, 100 and 2 eggs. I always crack them separately in case I get some shell in the egg. So tap it to crack it and then you tip it. There's no need to whisk it because you're going to be whisking it in the mixer. Now, I'm going to use the all-in-one method and I'm going to use an electric hand mixer. What I do is I put a damp cloth over the top because to start with it might whoosh with the flour all in the air. So get it mixing to start with. Okay, and I think I'm safe to take that off now. I've got the oven on 180, so I'm going to whisk this. Now, I'm going to cream it, whisk it, until it's really soft. If you're using butter or margarine, it must be soft margarine, it works a lot quicker. If you are not putting chocolate in, I'd say cream it till soft and light and very, very white. The whiter, the lighter, the bigger your cakes. Because you've got more air into them. Okay, so I've combined all of my ingredients. If you haven't got an electric mixer, don't worry, you can still use the 100, 100, 102 method. Cream your margarine in a bowl with a wooden spoon. Gradually cream in your caster sugar. The whiter, the lighter. Crack your 2 eggs into a small basin and whisk them up. And then add a little bit, beat it in till all the eggs gone. And then you're going to carefully fold the flour in with a metal spoon so you don't knock all the air out that you put in. Creaming method or the all-in-one method. Now, I put my fairy cake cases into my bun tin. Remember, if you're doing muffin cases, you won't get as many. I use teaspoon and teaspoon. Some people use teaspoon, little finger, and obviously try and put the same amount of mixture in each one. Now, so if you don't want to decorate them with buttercream, well, at this stage, particularly if they're plain ones, you could add chopped cherries, dried fruit, desiccated coconut, chopped apple, and just do ordinary fairy cakes. I'm trying to get the same amount of mixture in each one, and by using spoons, and you are not advised to eat raw cake mixture because of the risk of salmonella in raw eggs. So don't be tempted. Obviously quite safe when they're cooked. So I'm trying to divide it out evenly. I'll give him a bit more, give her a bit more. Use up all the mixture. Okay, and so that's made me 12 small fairy cakes. If it was muffin, it would probably be about 8 cakes. Okay, so putting that out of the way, putting that out of the way. Right, now then, I'm going to put those into the oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm using my oven gloves, putting those into the oven for about 15 minutes till they are golden, firm in the centre and springy to touch. Now then, so when your cakes come out, you need to make sure that they've gone cold, otherwise any buttercream that you put on the top is going to melt. I made some buttercream, or you can buy the tub buttercream in the shops, and the buttercream is half butter or margarine softened to double icing sugar. So I made some buttercream and I used 100 grams of soft butter, and I gradually beat in 200 grams of icing sugar, and I also put in some cocoa to make it chocolate flavour. Again, you could colour it, you could flavour it. So I'm just going to show you a few ideas. I've got some flake which I've crushed up. Okay, I've got Cadbury's Enchanted mini eggs, Galaxy Enchanted eggs, basically whatever you want to put on the top. If you don't get flakes, you can grate some chocolate, that does work out a bit cheaper. So, idea number 1, very simple. Keep your bag upright. Squeeze, 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 stop, lift. Whoops, simple. Okay, and then that's just one simple idea. You might want to put a bit of chocolate on the top. You might just want to put a couple of eggs on the top. So that's just a very simple rosette. If you want to do a nest, right, again, keep the bag upright. Round and round the cake you go, cake you go, cake you go. Then one in the middle. Now, again, you might decide you want to leave it as it is. Again, I'm going to put a couple of the Goldie Galaxy ones, and I'll say you could put a little chick on to add a little bit of colour. So I'm just going to quickly do a few of these. Let's show you this one again. Squeeze, 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 stop, lift. Squeeze, 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 top, lift. Squeeze, 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 stop, lift. And then you can decorate those how you like. Okay. Let's do another nest. Okay, let's just put something on that one. Very, very chocolatey ones. Okay, so again for the chocolatey nest, piping bag, squeeze, 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 round you go. And you can put one in the middle if you want to. And then pipe on the top. Now, if you don't have a piping bag, don't worry, you can just put some buttercream on with a fork and rough it up. Not everybody's got piping bags and nozzles at home. Rough it up, put some chocolate flake or grated chocolate on the top, and there we've got a simple version of a nest. Okay, right, now then, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to quickly show you how to make buttercream, because not glacé icing, because not everybody wants to make buttercream or can get the ingredients, the icing sugar and the margarine, what have you. So, glacé icing, basically, just fill my hand there, buttercream on me. Glacé icing is water icing, but a little bit of water takes up a lot of sugar. So, I'm just making a small amount. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of water, just a tiny bit of water. Now this could be orange juice, lemon juice if you wanted to flavour it, and we want to get it till it goes opaque, like the white of a hard-boiled egg. I'm going to add one more. You've got to be very careful, because if you make it too runny, you can just see through it and it doesn't look very effective. Now that's nearly there. Whatever you do, just don't tip the water in. Add it a bit at a time. Now actually that isn't far off. So this is glacé icing. It's just icing sugar, bit of water or orange juice to flavour it. I'm just going to add, just dip my spoon in, and okay. Now that consistency is fine if you want to, I'll do it on a chocolate one so it shows. Plump it in the middle, and then you can just decorate it how you want. Let's get some colourful ones. Again, you can sprinkle chocolate on the top. That should quite thickened glacé icing. Now, if you want it to cover the top, I'll do it on one of these. Just add a tad more water. I'm just dipping the spoon in. See, that's obviously a lot softer, and I'm going to pop that on the top of that 1 teaspoon, little finger, and you can either just put it in the middle like a traditional fairy cake, or you could, so if I've got enough here, do the whole top. And I'm going to cover the whole top, and then whatever you're going to sprinkle on, you need to sprinkle on while the icing's still soft. Right, that's perfect. That's just a tiny amount for 2 cakes. Okay, right, so I've got a little bit in the middle, tidy it up if you want to, but I'm not going to bother. I'm going to put a bit of chocolate on the top. I'm going to put a couple of nests, little eggs. That's if you prefer to use glacé icing rather than buttercream. And then the one I've covered the top with there, I'm just going to put some eggs on. Okay, so whatever you fancy, there's just a very simple idea using 100, 100, 102 makes 12 small cakes for me and you. 200, 200, 204 is going to make you 24. 4 ingredients: self-raising flour, caster sugar, soft butter or margarine, and eggs. It's the same weight of each ingredient. Make sure your cakes are cool before you start to decorate. So whether you want to use glacé icing, buttercream, the choice is yours. Happy Easter, enjoy.